What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Alex here from Alex CFE, and today we have another video, another daunting subject to kind of go over. And I feel like this is different than the video I just made, but it's along that same lines of just unaffordability and what in general we can be doing differently compared to what is actually happening right now. And I just want to preface this whole video by saying this comes from a place of just like passion. It's not really to be negative. I have no desire to outwardly be negative and like harp on things just to harp on, or I'm not chasing views or engagement, anything like that. Like that is 100% not why I'm doing this. I feel like just anybody with a platform at this point has to kind of say something, and if we don't, if we just kind of accept it, you know, things might just continue on the way that they are, and this whole game is going to kind of continue to go downwards, because I think that's really been the trajectory over the past couple months. And I'll explain a little bit of my personal experience, what's going on at my locals and whatnot, and just my general outlook. But something that I also want to kind of touch on ahead of time is this is the real problem. Like, this isn't something that you can say, oh, the argument about the set ratios are old, the argument about the promos are old, things like that. Especially if you're a big YouTuber or just a big person in this community and you've come out and said that, like on Twitter. I'm not naming any names or anything like that, but it is a little disheartening to see. I don't believe that these kind of problems are old. They're not settled. They're continuously going on, so therefore they are fresh, they are current, they are still here. And you as a player, you should not be rolling over and just accepting, you know, it should be $100+ for 4 cards to make my deck that I already invested in playable for promos, and it shouldn't be a $60 to $70, $80 kind of gateway to entry into the premium format when you want to grow the game, when you want things to be accessible to players like every other TCG is kind of focusing on right now. So if you want to know a little bit more about that, go check out my other video on the channel where I discuss, is Vanguard the most overinflated TCG? But this over here, we're going to be talking about the new history collection, and I really did want to kind of let this settle. I was very tempted and very frustrated the first day just to like make a video kind of doing like a market watch, saying what's going on with the set. There is very little availability. At least we have availability in general now in the US, and over in Europe I don't even think this is put on Card Market. That kind of shows you just like the level of interest these big, you know, TCG kind of player, you know, community, whatever, the big card markets are, or I think it's actually called Card Market, but how they're not really considering our game, I guess, legit enough to really even care about launch day. And that's very disheartening. That's more or less been the trend. So let's hop into the set a little bit. Just right off the bat, if you guys watched my pack opening, you saw that I did pull SP Harmonics Messiah, but in general, the pull rates for this are absolutely terrible. Like, I don't care about SPs. Like, if you want to charge a lot and gain your value for the case, for the set, like, sure. Like, I'm sorry to the players who want to actually buy the shiny cardboard, but for you to have, you know, a higher rarity, I feel like, yeah, value should come from this. As a seller, like, you know, charge what you want for these things. If there's nobody on the market selling them, only 2 listings, 4 listings, 1 listing, sure, like go get your value from this. That's fine. It's when the base rarity stuff like this right here, the Harmonics Messiah, costs $70. Let's click on it. 8 listings. So, you know, new games and any other game comes out, boom, they have like they have 50 to 100 listings in One Piece, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, whatever it is. Like, I get it, those are much bigger games, but like at this point, like that, it really is like we're competing for just surviving at this point, and you have to look at other games and what they're doing right, and Bushiroad's kind of doing that, and I feel like doing the opposite. So now there are, I think there's 4 of these or something like that included in a case. I could be wrong, could be speaking out of turn, but essentially you need, every single deck needs this. Like, every single deck. There is not a single deck where you can say, no, this does not benefit the player. This is such a defensive boost now to every single deck. And just to say that, yes, there is a $70 paywall to get into the format when so many people are, you know, trying to get over from Overdress, or maybe just, you know, update decks that they had previously. You've now just changed the meta, even for premium players who previously have invested heavily in the format. You have now told them that, like, you need either crack packs or open, or just go buy this card. Like, a $70 paywall to introduce yourself to the new format, even if you have been like in the format previously. Like, that is absolutely insane. Nobody has, like, there are a few of these like original cards, like the very first, I think this was the first G unit that ever came out of like the movie or whatever it was like a promo. Look at this, like a $70 paywall to get into the format. How is that acceptable? How are you printing the card that you absolutely need every single deck? Let's think about this too. Even if you're a premium player and you know, me personally, I can't use myself as an example, but I feel like the average person maybe has like 2 to 3, maybe a little bit more premium decks, or maybe it's just 1. Even still, like, if you don't want to swap these cards between those decks, it's not really an option at this point, unless you want to spend $240, whatever it is. Like, That is absolutely insane to me. So it's just super disheartening. And the worst part is too, they knew this was going to be super popular because they printed the box topper Guardian ticket that this gets you as a box topper, like, but they didn't include this card as like maybe like a 1/4 kind of box topper or something. If you didn't want to flood the market with this, I get it, but at the same time, to make this card, and it's a necessary 100%, you need to have this if you plan on being competitive and premium. To have this be out of 4 of in a case, in a set that comes with 10 packs with 3 cards in a pack, it's just absolutely insane. You can't in your right mind tell somebody. I was almost going to make a video also like, is it worth it to buy, kind of like Tolarian Community College does for this. It's not even worth even discussing. I mean, it's clearly not worth it. Buying boxes for this to that $30 to $45 price range just in hopes of hitting the $70 card is ludicrous. You are getting McDonald's packs. You are literally getting McDonald's Yu-Gi-Oh packs out of this set. That is so crazy. And it's not to say that, like, I know there's over 300 cards in this set, but overall the ratios for this specific one is insane. The other prices for these cards in the set are not garbage. I think they actually did a lot of things well with this set, and I will kind of transition into that a little bit later into the video, but this is not acceptable. This is a predatory practice once again by Bushiroad, and it's just mind-boggling how fat they want to really kill this game. I think that's just what they're trying to do at this point, to maybe kind of push Shadowverse and Weiss Schwarz a little bit more, so they're kind of finishing up maybe. I don't know, like, they're saying that they're projecting this game to go on long term. I feel like everything that they're doing is honestly killing the game, and I kind of want to keep promos out of this video, but I might switch to that a little bit later because it's the same deal. Like, let's go right now, actually. You know what, let's finish up here. Let's go look through this set, and I'll show you, like, there is nothing else aside from SPs and harmonics that really carry insane value in this set. Yeah, Hanali, I get it. Like, there's not even a playset of, I think, Hanali in a case, so that is crazy. $38 per box, and you're only getting, what is that, 10 cards or 10 packs, 3, so cards back 30. Yeah, you're getting per box, but again, you don't need playsets of everything. But they don't even have a playset of Hanali. That's again another format kind of changing thing with the errata. You know, things like Luard over here, the V era stuff. A lot of the V era reprints are actually really great. You know, No Life King is another great one. You know, it's not crazy. Like, a lot of this stuff, this is the high end for the set. Most of it's like under, and you only need 2 copies of each on stride hit. Like, I get it. Like, I'm not complaining about the general price. I'm complaining about the one card, and I just don't understand how you give out a Guardian Shield ticket, the thing that you can pretty much swap between every deck, because a lot of people have generic, you know, just markers, things like that they carry deck to deck, but you're not giving out the card that you actually need in order to use that. Like, that is so insane to me, and I don't think it's an overreaction from the market. Like, everybody needs it. Supply and demand kind of deal. $70, it is what it is. Like, it is necessary. You want to play the game, that's just what it is, and it's one card. It's reprinted at a terrible rate. Everything else in this set is pretty dang cheap. Like, it's great to see so many of these old staples now accessible. $3 for Alt Mile, the old Dragonic Vanquisher kind of reprinted. It was $10. Ghidorah, the Shiranui again, the old one, Chronofang. Just so many great things kind of reprinted, and it's such a shame that I have to drag this like whole set over this one card. If you knew as a company you're designing a set, this one card would carry the value, you purposely went out and designed a horrible product. Like, it's just, that's just the way it is. Like, it 100% is a failed product in that regard, and it's unfortunate because, like I said, so many other great things are reprinted here. It makes the game accessible on so many different other levels, but still at the same time so inaccessible because of this one card. If you knew that this would be the chase card that really just brought your product value up, increase the rate a little bit, like a little bit more, something. I don't know, maybe if you bought a whole case, 8 copies, 10 copies, whatever it is. Instead, I think it's like 4. I could be wrong again, but I think it's 4. It's just crazy to me that actually exists. And the fact of the matter is too, I know we have tons of cards in here, over 300 prints, but there are still so many premium staples. For example, you know, I was hyped about the All Mile reprints over there. Not that I don't already have it and stuff, but you know, Crystal Luster, that's something. There's so many other things. Oops, sorry about that. There's so many other things for this game that could have been reprinted and honestly could have been put into the set for the premium format. And it's not like we have a product reveal saying like there's another premium set coming in like 6 months, or you know, the reprint set. As a reprint set, you've eroded stuff to the point where like this isn't so much of a reprint set. This is more of like a reissue in a way. I don't know how to say it, but you've made it mandatory now to have these cards. So this was like a necessary thing to kind of include in here. So I just think that with this, the inclusion of that card at such a low rate, it's just such a slap in the face to your player base. And this product is, unfortunately, for being so good on the low end, so bad, so atrociously bad on the top end, that I can't say this is a good product. If I was to rate this thing, I would really give it like a D. I mean, everything else in the set, 299 other cards are kind of floating that one card away from the failure zone. So super unfortunate. I'm sorry it has to come that way. And again, more on that whole, like, you can't say the promo thing, you can't say the case ratio, you can't say the whatever, you know, the reprints in general are a problem. Yes, you can, because again, it's still going on. Let's go to here. Let's go to the D series promos really quick. Let's do that. New series promo. I think that's ready. Where is it? What's a promo over here? Let's just do end picks. I know that's a promo, right? Yeah. So let's go. We'll look at the D promo cards and look. Oh wow, look at that. Perfect. Right on cue. I honestly hadn't even looked at this because I knew it would be a ridiculous amount of money for these over here. Nice. If you want to play the base version over here for the new top meta deck, absolutely insane for the BCS season. Once again, after they've apologized and said they wouldn't do this, they would focus more on like reprints, accessibility for this over here, they've printed a necessary promo card once again for a deck that you've already invested in. And if you don't invest in it, guess what? The deck's not going to perform. It's not going to be as good as it currently is. This is insane. This is so crazy. Let's see how many are on the market. There's one. So even if you wanted it, you'd have to go and find it. Now, a lot of people, I see that people say, oh, just go to locals, farm this stuff. I used to be of that mindset. I 100% used to be of that mindset. But ever since these promos pretty much have come out for every single deck, like Broken Toy is still $40. That's crazy. Ever since these promos have come out for this deck, or for decks in general, there have been almost every deck gets support in the form of promos. Therefore, there are so many decks now that like need it. And like, if you're trying to dodge the promo decks, it becomes a minefield, because you know later on down the line you're going to walk into a promo and you're going to blow your deck up. Like, there's no way that you're not going to get a promo eventually. And to be honest, it's really killing my local scene. It used to be, for the first year and a half maybe, or right up until like the really expensive promos started coming out, you know, along the lines of like the Broken Toy, the Thagria, that kind of stuff, the Halbay. We had, I mean, routinely almost 20 players every single tournament. There would just be Friday nights where it'd be 25, almost 30 players. Like, it was a really great locals. All of a sudden, this comes out, people get less enthused. You know, their favorite decks now have promos that they're just not willing to pay, and I don't blame them. I really wouldn't. I haven't bought Broken Toys, and I loved Tamiyura. Like, I absolutely loved it. Like, I would never buy this for $58. I never bought Halbay for 50 whatever the heck. I unfortunately had to pay 20 whatever it was at the time, but it's really killing the game. And like, our attendance now, we're lucky if we get like 10 players on like a Friday night, where we used to have such a competitive locals. And like, you know, we have like the third place standard world's contender comp. We have multiple people with like won BCSs, they travel for this stuff. Like, they're really into the game. They don't find value anymore and just like coming to these things, because we don't even get the promo packets. Like, our July promos never came from Bushiroad. My local shop owner will reach out, try to find out, just straight up doesn't get them. He'll get, you know, like eight packs in general or something like that. Like, yo, that is insane. You have kind of damned yourself, I think, with the D promo cards over here, as well as your new set. Like, you know, I can't even quickly go back to the old set over here, because it's taken off the top up here, because, you know, this is unfortunately, it might be, you know, I don't want to say it, but it might, this game's definitely waning in a lot of different ways. And I don't care what, you know, tournament results or whatever, attendance, you're seeing the same group of like at least 40 people kind of travel to like almost every BCS. I'm starting to get into certain circles and stuff where I see that, where people are just like willing to do it. So I think a lot of these things are almost inflated. And when you look at newer TCGs like One Piece having 1,000-person tournaments, you know, 300 people in person, Digimon, same kind of deal. There's just so many other kind of TCGs doing things so well off the bat. Not to say they don't have their own problems, 100% every TCG does. It's just so difficult for me to be like, yes, get into this game. Like, I can no longer sit there and try to even attempt to make a budget premium deck. I can't really sit there. I made a video and I did the top 5 most I guess, best value decks for standard format. And again, it's still closer to the $100 mark than it was, 2 years ago. It's just really kind of unfortunate overall. So I guess that's what I wanted to say. Really, really bad set to come out. Very bad problem now in premium. I think it has to be emergency addressed with some kind of special printing, to be quite honest. It's not fair to ask your player base for one card. Flip this up once out of every 2 games, get a quick shields, and that's it. Like another defense guardian shield ticket, whatever you want to call it. It's really just super bad, annoying. It's just not the way this game should be run and handled. And I forgot what channel it was. Maybe I'll link it down in the description. I just watched kind of like a health of all TCGs kind of video, and Vanguard was like the 3rd one that they went over, and it was put in the dying category. And like, I think over 90% of the viewers who were tuned in, like, I get it, they're probably not all Vanguard players, but to have that perception from outside of the community, all of a sudden, I mean, there were hundreds of votes on that too. Like, it was overwhelmingly that it was dying. It was really sad to actually watch. I will link it. I'll go find it. I'll link it in the description. Very, very unfortunate. And to see my locals start to wane because of these promo problems, because of the paywall that you have to get into every format. V is, going the way of the Buffalo silently. They're not really saying anything, but it's gonna die, unfortunately. It's just, I think it will, at least. It's just very, very sad overall. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know your comments down below. Like, I really don't want to make these kind of videos. I don't want to be saying this kind of stuff, but it's just the sad reality that we are in at the moment. And I don't think that it's okay to hide behind, oh no, everything will be fine. It's just not. These are not old problems, they're persisting problems, things that keep on going on, and I really don't think that it's okay to just not say anything about it. So again, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy any of this content, any of my other content, maybe leave a like on the video, possibly consider subscribing to the channel. Definitely appreciate it. Thank you in advance. This is Alex from Alex CFV signing out.